Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This space is dedicated to self growth, healing, and embracing your true authentic self. If you have found your way here, it's likely that you are in the midst of questioning your old habit, healing your past wounds, and stepping into the powerful version of who you truly are. This journey is transformative, and I want you to know you are not walking it alone. In today's video, we're gonna talk about how to break free from your karmic patterns within your family and let go of all the social conditioning that has been holding you back. So, if you have ever bogged down by the expectations, guilt, or emotional baggage that's not even yours to carry, this video is definitely for you. And remember, you don't come here to bear the weight of your ancestral struggles. You are here to break those cycles, heal, and step into the path that aligns with your soul's truth purpose. So, in the first half, we will begin by unpacking the concepts of karmic patterns, especially those passed down through generations. And then we will explore how these patterns affect your emotional reactions, relationship, and core beliefs. So, once we have recognized, in the other half, we will dive deep into empowering ways to release, heal, and create a fresh path that's aligned with your true self, which is free from the past and ready to embrace your future. So, let's dive in. So, first, we have to recognize the karmic patterns. Many of us find ourselves trapped in the patterns that don't seem to make sense, such as like when we are suppressing our emotions, like people pleasing, feeling guilty, or trying to follow a life path that doesn't resonate with us. These patterns are often passed down within families, creating repeating cycles of emotional responses across generations. For example, the we have seen in our families that emotional suppression is very common where feelings are not openly discussed and vulnerability is seen as a weakness. So, especially with the masculine energy, we have been taught since childhood that masculine, like the man in our family, are very strong and they don't have to express their emotions. And if they have ever felt their emotions or expressed their feelings, it is considered as a weakness. And another example we can take is any unresolved anger and resentment, where we take carried on our grudges, creating ongoing emotional pain. Additionally, some guilt and obligation often intervene with love, leading to the expectation that personal desire should be sacrificed for the greater good of family. In my own experience, I have seen in my family as well that how that we are taught to learn the sacrificial love. We have to sacrifice our own personal desires, or how we are sacrifice our true self for the greater good of family. So once we have recognized these patterns like emotional suppression, sacrificing your feelings, or any guilt, shame, resentment, grudges, so we can see how these patterns, when we start recognizing how they shape your life, and that's where the power to break free begins. So next we will discuss about the recurring relationship dynamics, which is toxic relationship dynamics. We have seen that it is often passed down through generations and generations, and this is how it shapes how we interact with others. So these patterns include like any codependency, where people stay in unhappy relationship out of duty rather than love. And here also, people pleasing behavior is very common, where you seek validation from others, especially your family members, become your second nature. And if you ever say no, it will feel disrespectful, even at the cost of your well being. So we have seen in our patterns that how we are dependent in an unhealthy and toxic relationship. Not we don't have any foundation of love. It's just the normal routine that we have to serve, that we have to perform our duties, and that's it. And if we ever say no, it is considered such a disrespectful, and we are literally losing ourselves for the sake of these toxic patterns. And also another issue we can discuss is authoritarian parenting, where we have been taught that fear-based discipline stifles individuality and the personal growth. So recognizing these unhealthy dynamics in your relationship can help you redefine them. So, of course, when you recognize these patterns, it will help you to grow. It will help you to honor your own needs and boundaries, which, of course, maybe feel very challenging at first, but it is definitely necessary for your emotional health and growth, because these toxic patterns always pass through the generation and generation, and it will make you stuck in a loop. And not only it affects you only your emotional health, it will affect your physical health, spiritual health, and your every aspect of your well-being. And not only you, it affects the whole family get trapped in this toxic relationship and these toxic patterns that have been passed through the generations. So the next we will discuss about the fear-based belief system. Lots of beliefs that shape our decisions are rooted in fear, and those often been passed down through generations. For example, the change the that we have always have a fear of change that can make families value stability, so that they can discourage taking risks or pursuing unconventional paths. The scarcity mindset, which prioritizes financial security over fulfillment, can cause people to choose career out of fear rather than passion. So here we see that even in my family as well, I have seen that how we have been taught that you have to sacrifice your own passions, that you have to sacrifice your own careers, and you have to discourage taking risks and just settle down for the less, or just settle down for whatever is the requirement and the financial requirement for the family. And even with the male member, it is very much this pattern is imposed on them, that you are the core creator and the provider of your family, and you have to sacrifice your passions or anything, and you just only have to provide financially, like the basics needs of your family. So this is how the toxic patterns, because you have a fear based foundation in these karmic patterns. And also we have seen the societal and the cultural expectations around gender roles, marriage, and success can also limit your personal exploration and growth. So, when you recognize your fear based beliefs, this is how you influence your choices, and it can help you to make decisions based on what truly resonates with you, and rather than out of failure, out of fear of judgment or any fear of failure. So we have to question ourselves, like what kind of life I'm living. Is it like a fear based, because only I have to suppress myself, suppress my emotions and my authenticity just to provide for the family. So this is how the fear based belief systems is also carried throughout our generations and in our karmic patterns. So next we'll discuss about the health and the generational trauma patterns. The health, which is both mental and the physical, often follows generational patterns. For instance, chronic stress and anxiety can be linked to the habit of suppressing emotions or constantly seeking approval from others. So we have seen that many people in, especially in the developing countries, where people don't have any awareness, we have been taught that you have to avoid addressing your mental health struggles due to the stigma, leaving generations to suffer in silence. And all these pent up emotions and mental health struggle, it causes generational trauma, which refers to like emotional wound passed down from past hardships like any loss or any financial struggles. And this can also be the major factor that leads to all the generational curses throughout our lineage. So when you recognize that it's not only impacting your physical health but also a mental and emotional health, and whenever we talk about our emotions or our mental health, it is considered as a taboo, and it is considered that you are not supposed to feel any kind of mental illness. But when we recognize and these patterns, we have to break these cycles, and which requires you have to prioritize your mental and emotional health, or you can take any seeking therapy, practice self-care and learning mindfulness techniques. And it's also about healing your emotional scars that have been passed down to you so you can be free from them. So this is our, when we have been chosen for this journey, for when we have been chosen to in our spiritual journey, it is our role and it is our duty to recognize these patterns, and we are the generational curse breakers, and we heal our ancestors. When we heal ourselves, we heal our lineage and family, and we break those toxic patterns, and it will release the karmic cycles and it will heal them. So, next, we will also talk about how the lack of boundaries and self sacrifice also contribute in our karmic patterns. So, in many families, there is a lack of boundaries where personal needs and individuality are often sacrificed for the sake of family or traditions, and it is considered as a martyrdom mindset where love is equated with suffering and self sacrifice. So for example, you have to, if you have to pursuing your personal goals or desire that stray from the family traditions, it may be met with resistance, and independence can be seen as selfishness. You know, whenever you take a stand for yourself, it is considered that you are just thinking of yourself, and it is considered as a very in a selfishness manner. So major life decisions like your career choices or relationship might be heavily influenced by the family opinions instead of your personal desires. So why this happens? Because we have to recognize there is a lack of boundaries. We allow them to lead by. We allow them to choose our career, to choose our personal desire, to choose our relationship. So it's always that we don't have any control of our life, and we give control to the society that they will rule our life. The family will rule our life, and we are just like a puppet, and we are just guiding and leading the way their patterns they have been carried out. You know, if we start following, that means we the kind of karmic patterns they have carried, they are just passing good to you, and we are just taking all the karmic patterns and living according to that. So, when you learn to set boundaries, you can really honor your own needs without any guilt or shame. So we have, in this first half, we have recognized all the karmic patterns, like any when you have a fear-based belief systems, lack of boundaries, lack of self-respect, when you have sacrificial mindset, when you have any generational trauma, many any mental health struggles. So all these karmic patterns we have to first recognize, and now in this half we will discuss like how to face these karmic patterns, and how we can heal and release that patterns from our soul and also from our lineage. So here the real work begins, which is very deep and often uncomfortable journey of inner healing. So first of all, it it starts with facing the inner work and healing your shadow, and it always starts with asking the very tough questions to yourself. So first you have to just see yourself and ask the questions like, am I living according to my truth, or I'm just fulfilling others' expectations. Or just ask yourself, do I feel guilty for choosing my own path? Am I holding on to resentment toward my family for shaping my struggles? So, healing comes when you allow yourself to sit with these uncomfortable feelings, understand them, and consciously choose to release them. It's also all about realizing that people who passed down these patterns were simply navigating their own struggles and lessons. So, of course, when we start asking these questions, even in my journey, when I have seen all the patterns in my family that has been repetitively and it was becoming so toxic that it's not impacting my mental health, my physical health, it impacting my family's health as well. So when I recognize that pattern, I start questioning. So, what kind of life I'm living? Should I have to live according to my truth or to their toxic patterns? If I have to keep living according to their toxic patterns, and it will keep on going generation to the generation, and my whole lineage will keep on suffering. And if I have to recognize and take accountability to heal and release, my whole future generations will be healed and they will be very grateful for my healing. So you are not healing for yourself, you are healing for generation, for your past generation as well as your future generations as well. So next, first we have discussed that how we have to just ask the questions that what kind of life you are living. Are you satisfied? Are you feeling peace? Are you having living authentic self? So ask these questions. So second things you can do to release and heal is setting boundaries with love. Of course, setting boundaries is always challenging, especially in the cultures that place family above all else. But setting boundaries is not about rejections. It's always about self-respect. It's about recognizing that you deserve to prioritize your own well-being, and you can just tell your family members that I love you, but I respect you, I adore you, but I need to do what's right for me. You can simply say that, oh, I understand your perspective, but I have my own journey to follow. Of course, when you start confronting to your family, it would be very uncomfortable and or even wrong. But with the time, you will learn that how setting boundaries allow you to honor yourself and it gives other permissions to do the same. And I have seen so much struggle in setting boundaries with my family as well. It's sometimes initially it's feeling very threatening, very uncomfortable. They felt very disrespected, but when you start honoring yourself, when you start respecting yourself, people will start respecting you. When you prioritize your own well-being, this world will prioritize your needs. When you sacrifice yourself, the people will take you for granted. So it's always setting boundaries, but with this love and also with the self respect, and confront your well-being first. And eventually, even if it's uncomfortable, but eventually you are standing for yourself, you are standing for your soul, and you are standing for them as well. It's not that it's your own personal desire and selfishness, you are doing for them. Even though they are not awakened, they don't realize it, but later they will be grateful to you that you have stand for yourself. And also you will see that those who truly care about you will adapt to your boundaries, and also those who resist may be benefiting from your lack of them. So you also see the people who care about you, they will carry along with you, and those who don't care, it you will get a distance from them also. This is how the setting boundaries works. So second is releasing social conditioning and finding your truth. Breaking free from social conditioning is another important step in this process. We are often raised with expectations of what success, relationship, and spirituality should look like, but they must not align with our true purpose. So, just always start questioning everything. Do I believe this because it resonates with me, or because I have been taught to believe it? Am I making decision based on love or out of fear of judgment or rejections? So when you see and reflect your life, that what kind of life you are living, are you living a life of love, on the base of love, or just a fear of society and fears of abandonment, judgment, or rejection? So that's how the root cause analysis of your pattern lies. So if you are living a life of a lie, of a fear, you will entrapped in that cycle. You will be fearful throughout that pattern, throughout that life that you have been living. But if you choose love, your life will start loving you. You will love yourself. You start cultivating self love and love for others. So it's like how you are perceiving your life. So start asking the questions. Then you have a more clarity. Then you have a then you will know that no, this is not the authentic self. This is not that I have been chosen to heal this trauma and heal these generational curses, so that I can choose love, and I can heal my family through my own authenticity. Okay, so next we can do is, of course, like breaking the karmic cycle is very difficult, uncomfortable, and it takes so much time. And I have been through in my personal journey, I have gone through a lot. But also, one way you it's a powerful tool. The way you can heal is also by the meditation and prayer. So of course, when you get deep into it, when you connect with yourselves through the meditations, you become more aware of your deep seated emotion patterns that have been passed down, and you also create a space for healing. So meditation will give you like a self reflection. So it will give you, okay, so what kind of patterns that I have been experiencing right now, what I'm projecting, what this world is projecting on me, why this I'm just stuck in this loop. So it's just give you clarity, and this is give you a like what kind of pattern has been passed down. And when you are in a stillness, you allow yourself to process those energies, and you release what no longer serves us. So, prayer, on the other hand, offers a sense of surrender and a way to seek guidance and support from a higher power or the universe, whether you do it through affirmations or simply asking for the strength to break free from these cycles. And of course, like prayer helps you to foster a sense of peace, clarity, and purpose, and making it easier to help and transform old patterns into new possibility for growth and freedom. So when I have been stuck in these patterns, prayer not only give me a peace, even though there is so much chaos and negativity all around, it gives you so much peace, and it gives you strength to navigate through it. And the last is the final release is the forgiveness and gratitude. Healing is not about breaking cycles, it's also about forgiveness. This means forgiving others for their roles in their patterns, but also forgiving yourself for holding on to the anger or frustrations. So when you shift from asking, oh, why did this happen to me? Why only me? Why that person cheat on me? Why that person betray on me? All your past hurt and wounds, and you carry that so much resentment and anger and grudges, because you can't forgive them, and you are not forgiving yourself to allow and to feel that pain. So you can shift that perspective from why did this happen to you, or to what can I learn from this. So you begin to see the lessons in your struggles. So here we just only so of course it's when you release all the patterns, and when you forgive them, it also helps you to release them into your from their life, and you also forgive yourself also. And it's also two way. You also forgive your parents of hurting you, and you also ask for forgiveness if you have ever hurt them. And if someone has any person in the past, if have any betrayed you or hurt you, so you ask your forgiveness from them, and you just cut the cord in the meditation, and you also forgive yourself that you have trusted them or whatsoever. So this is way you just resolve the karmic patterns from them, and you just cut the cord from your soul, and now that pattern won't affect you anymore. The hurt, the wound, that scars that is still hurting, it won't affect you. With time you will heal that wounds and you will heal that scars. And if ever that through the past wounds, if you have ever hurt your parents because of anything, you are asking the forgiveness in the prayer that okay, I'm suffering because of my past. I ask God, I ask forgiveness for my past mistakes, and please forgive my parents as well, so that they are still carrying that hurt and pain and still carrying that grudges and resentment, and that is why they are still hurt. That is why they are carrying all the patterns to me, and I'm still suffering. And now this pattern is transferring through my generations. So this is the way how you can release that patterns and by forgiveness and everything. And of course, like when you practice gratitude for the lesson rather than the pain, it helps you to shift you into a mindset of growth. And always remember, your healing by doesn't just benefit you. As it you heal, it creates a ripple effect and give permission for others around you to heal as well. So, final thoughts about this video. I know it might be a long, but it was a very thorough video. I hope you have a clarity. So, final thought about this video, that you have to embrace your soul purpose as well. In my own personal experience, I would say that releasing karmic cycle and social conditioning is not at easy. It really requires courage, patience, and self love, but the freedom it brings is worth the work. By stepping into your truth, you align with your soul purpose and you begin living authentically. So, when you take a stand for yourself, you are healing yourself and to your generation and to your future. So this energy attract your divine blessings and your divine abundance. So, and in my own personal journey, even though it was messy, but over the time I have seen that now it helps my family to heal. It's generation, although it's not the it's everyday work, it's everyday. You are healing, it's everyday ongoing process, it's take time, but it's like you have to be willing to heal and you have to be willing to release those karmic patterns. And it's still sometimes it still get messy, it still get you again get into the stuck into the loop, but now you are aware, now you recognize those patterns, and now you can release and heal through all that things that we have discussed you know and of course, like if you and you are on this journey, and always remember that you are not alone. Just trust the process, be kind to yourself, and know that the healing you to do that you are doing today will positively impact your future generations. And anyhow, thank you so much for being there. If this video resonated with you, please like and share and comment below with your thoughts and experience. I would love to connect with you and continue growing together on this transformative journey.